As we know today, horror games are a huge part of the culture as it is very popular amongst young people. But some tend to find more amusement when watching others do the risky job, and I am proud to be one of them. In this podcast, I'm going to explain why it is more enjoyable when watching another person navigate through a horrifying environment. First, I am going to explain why we all enjoy jump scares. Chances are, jump scares might be the first thing that pops up in everyone's mind whenever horror-related content is mentioned. They are basically the bread and butter for scary games. Jump scares can be a sudden frame where something pops up along with a loud sound. And sometimes even just the sound will do the trick because unlike how we can block our eyes from witnessing the terrifying images, we are not able to shut down our ears. Believe it or not, the jump scares are the main thing that gets us going and keep us coming back regardless of how bad it makes us feel, because it triggers something called a startle reflex, which releases adrenaline. Startle reflex is the natural defense reaction that occurs when an organism senses danger. When any living being senses a sudden drastic change in their sight or hearing, the neurons in their brain will unconsciously force their body to tighten and flinch as a response to danger, then release adrenaline. Think about how you react to the times when your friends scare you by screaming, or when you are walking and you unexpectedly bump into something or someone in front of you, and how you feel a little more energetic and awake afterwards. This should be a pretty good visual of what startle reflex feels like. Speaking of adrenaline, it is a magical thing. Everyone is addicted to it. You probably don't believe me, but you will once I explain. People can have an adrenaline rush when doing the most common activities like playing video games, tag, dodgeball, roller coasters, skiing, etc. You can't possibly tell me that someone doesn't enjoy any of those activities, because it offers the feeling of hype and excitement. Now here's a random fact. Our startle reflexes are extra sensitive when we're tired. This actually spices things up because nighttime is usually when people are able to have free time. So naturally they will schedule their gaming sessions at night. This means that when people are playing horror games, they will be more jumpy. Some people may be wondering, why would someone play such games with so much traumatizing, disgusting, and painful content? The answer is simple. It did not happen in real life, and never will. At least I hope so. But anyways, the point is, we enjoy horror games for the same reason as all the other games. It is a simulation. The aspects of simulation is actually one of the most crucial parts of horror games. It is also why most people enjoy horror games more than movies, because horror games provide a surreal and interactive environment filled with danger that are not real. According to the book The Dangerous Edge by Michael J. Apter, humans tend to crave the feeling of being in danger while knowing they are in absolutely no risk of being harmed, because they get to engage in risky activities with total security. This explains why people would want to go skydiving and bungee jumping, because it's proven to be completely safe. Although I am still not buying it. But anyways, horror games perfectly utilizes the science of security sense, where the players gets to experience insanity up their faces and ears while knowing they are completely safe because they are merely sitting on a chair in front of the screen. Imagine you're in front of the screen, watching somebody else navigate through the dangerous place in front of the screen. You get to see their startle reflex and adrenaline on top of having the same reaction yourself maybe. Watching others play horror games has doubled the amusement and is somewhat more laid back, since you get to observe instead of doing the exploration yourself. Another great thing about horror games is that its stressful atmosphere forces the players to act out of their own primal instincts. The intimidating music and sound effects, jump scares, and the threats in horror games are designed specifically to create pressure on the players. Yes, you heard that right. Horror games are indeed very similar to school. Anyways, it's not only the jump scare that create a sense of danger for players. All the other elements I mentioned also play a big role. The creepy music, petrifying sound effects, makes completing tasks in-game almost 5 times more dreadful as it really forces the players out of their comfort zones. When being in an uncomfortable, spooky situation with a realistic environment, most people will lose their chill and start acting out of their own instincts, regardless of being in front of a screen. Let's be honest, we all enjoy watching other people in tough situations and see how they deal with it, especially if they are known for having entertaining reactions to it. For example, my personal favorite streamer, XQCOW, also known as Felix Lingiel. He is an ex-Overwatch League professional player with an abnormally impulsive startle reflex and a set of questionable decision-making logic. Till this day, XQC's horror gameplay videos remain to be one of the top choices. Alright, so in conclusion, watching people on YouTube or Twitch playing horror games can be way more exciting than doing it yourself. Because we are able to witness someone else acting on their survival instincts due to their adrenaline rush kicking in after getting jump scared, while of course having the feeling of being part of the intense, thrilling ride without any fatal consequences. Now, if the situations in the horror games were real, how would you react?